Welcome back, this is Jeff Byers, and we're going to be taking you through how to texture the polygonal tree now that we have it finished. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this at 1. Okay, the tree is ready to for texturing, so we're going to go ahead and start texturing this object. What you're going to end up doing is probably going into Photoshop and creating a leaf texture. So there's a couple things you'll need to have. You'll need the color map for the leaf texture. You'll need an alpha map. Basically, anything black will be transparent and anything white will be opaque. And then you'll need a specular map and a bump map for this leaf. I believe I have my bump map here. So here's my bump map for that leaf. We also need to have a bark texture and a bump map. I have 2 different types of bump maps I'm going to try. One is a bump map that I actually have. It has a little more contrast, and I actually added a filter to it, a blur. I did a Gaussian blur at 0.5, and that helps take the artifacting out of the texture itself. This one's going to be, we'll try this one as well, see how it looks. And then this is my specular map, which is very low. Trees don't usually reflect light back that much. There's just a little specular highlights in there. We don't want the tree to look wet or anything like that. So, okay, with that said, we're going to go ahead and texture this tree. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the object and go ahead and edit, delete by type history, and we'll do the leaves as well. There we go. We'll just continue using the Phong shader. Looks like we have everything we need. We have bump and we have specular color. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use the Phong, and we're going to go ahead and get the mental ray set up here. And go with a little bit of a larger screen size. Let's go ahead and do HD 540. Okay, looks like everything's okay. Looks good. We'll add a directional light. Let's rotate it out a little bit and start adding the textures. Start with the trunk, go into the color, and we are going to strip that off. Let's go back out and strip that out, and so what you do is just right click over it and delete. So right click over it and delete break connections. So right click over the word color. If you want to break connection, just break connection. I'm going to go to File, Off. I'm going to go and click on the color bark. Okay. And we're going going to go ahead and add the other colors, the spec map. Let's go add the bump map. And let's go ahead and add the spec map. Next is specular color. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the leaves. You got the color. Let's go ahead and delete that. So right click over color and break connection. Right click over transparency, break connection. Right click over specular color, break connection. So I'm going to go into the color and add leaf. Add my leaf color. And then I'm going to go into the transparency. And add my alpha. And then I'm going to go into my bump and add my bump map. And then add the spec map. There we go. Okay, so the tree is completely finished now. Zoom in a little bit. Let's go ahead and click on my render. Get that nicely composed. And let's do a render. It won't be beautiful, but we'll get an idea of how it looks. Okay, that looks really good for what it is. I mean, as far as no radiosity effects or anything like that, no bounced light, it's just one light. We're going to kind of tweak some things out here. Let's go ahead and do some more renders. A lot of times I'll, just to soften things up a little bit, I'll take this light and kind of do a 3-point light setup really quickly. So I'll do some bounce lights. I'm going to do Control D and rotate this. Around, so this is, and then I'll Control D it again and have light coming up. And I'll just do a 0.3 on that. And this opposite light that I have here will be a 0.5. And we will turn off, I'm just doing this real quickly because I'm not going to take the time to do an HDR image real quick. Let's see, we'll just do this real quick. And the light that's shining up, that'll turn that off too as well. Let's just get a different. Okay, we'll get another view of this. Let's go ahead and add a bookmark. Alright, we'll go ahead and render that again. Now you can see that it's not so black anymore, so we've got a little nicer looking tree. I'm going to save that so we can see the differences between the two. So this was what it was before, and now we've got a little nicer looking tree just by adding some more lights. Okay, now the thing is that we see the leaves, but they are basically not transparent. So there's a couple things we need to do. Let's go ahead, minimize that, select the leaves. Let's go into the shader, go into the transparency, And we are going to add, under color balance, at the very bottom, we're going to click on alpha is luminance. So under color balance, we're going to click on alpha is luminance. So now we can go ahead and render it again. Okay, as you can see, the tree's looking really good. I'm really happy with that. We got some nice shadows that are on the bottom and the back. And we can see through the leaves, so the transparency is working, so that looks awesome. So we're good, we're finished, and what you do now is we are going to start putting things together. Now, there's a couple things I want to look for. Is the bump map on this tree. Let's get a little closer and do a quick render on that. And see if that bump map is too high. Okay. It's not looking too bad, actually. We kind of want it pretty bumpy. So look at the tree. Could probably pull back the bump a little bit on that tree. Maybe 0.5 on that. And then that leaves, find one of these leaves. Okay, other than the leaf looking like it's floating in space, I need to pull back on the bump map and maybe redo the specular map because I got way too much specular highlight in here. So, going to, otherwise I like what I'm seeing here. Let's go ahead and go into the shader. I'm going to pull back to 0.5, about half of that. I'm also going to turn down the reflectivity to 0 and do the same thing with the tree. Just turn that reflectivity off. Okay. So, the tree's looking really good. Let's go ahead and select everything, and let's do edit, delete by type history. And then we're going to do a modify freeze transformation. So now this tree is good. It's good to go. There's a couple more things I want to do. I want to be able to scale this tree up and down. To do that, I'm going to put it in under a locator. So I'm going to do that with the grass too. So everything I create, I'm going to save it separately and then pull it in, import it into the scene. So I'm going to do that next in my next video.